5. Enjoy the episode, everybody.
Dad Tales is a chance to have a chat about parenting just from a dad's point of view. We'll share some stories. We will hopefully offer some advice, some tips, and just a light-hearted look at parenting from our point of view. So, what have you been up to this week, Leon?
I've been gearing up, ready to go back to work. Well, to get work sorted, and then obviously it's doing the homeschooling with the kids. Nothing much has changed because obviously the circumstances everyone's in. So it's just Groundhog Day every day, doing homework, getting up, going through the motions, feeding the kids, sorting work out, and then tea, bath, bed, stories. But throughout the week, we've built a dream catcher. So after last week's antics, we've built dream catchers on your recommendation. Good stuff it was.
So just to reiterate, so last week we had, in fact, just fill us in quickly, briefly, where did the dream catcher come from?
I scared my kids to death before bedtime, so it took me a long time to console them and calm them down. But yeah, so I'm back at that after your good decision. We decided to build a dream catcher, and they've been happy with it all week, actually. It's not really come up very often. It does keep coming up about him, but the dream catcher's in place, so we're good to go on that aspect. What about yourself? How's your week been?
Just steady. I'm just saying, still working from home. I had a bit of I won't say lazy weekend, but I didn't have the kids this weekend, so just proper boring stuff. And what I've realised is I'm a proper planner. I like to plan stuff that I never ever do. So I've got loads of stuff planned.
You make a good list, but then it never gets all chalked off it.
Oh man, I'm brilliant at lists. I'm also brilliant at making lists about lists. And then I get through the weekend and nothing's ticked off.
I'm a bit different. I'm a bit of a winger, me. I like to go with the flow, and they'll seem just floating around the house, tidying this, bit in that, and then next thing I know, day's gone. I've not achieved much, but I've winged my whole day around it. Yeah,
I'm the guy that sits in an office. If I worked for like NASA or somewhere, I'd be the one sitting in the office going, I've got a right idea, let's do this.
Once you realise it's a lot of effort to actually do the plan.
Yeah, pretty much. Effort and cost.
Please like, rate and subscribe.
First topic of the week. You going first?
Yeah, you can do. So my topic is pets your kids want, but you don't want, or you just physically can't have. You can throw that off because obviously you've got 3 kids. So obviously, what pets have we had over the years that kids have wanted?
So we've had hamsters, we've had fish. We've never really gone anything higher than that. That's kind of the limit. Strangely enough, we had one hamster. Oh, you had to buy them in pairs. I think there was like the Russian hamsters, is that what they're called? And they're these really small things, but you're not allowed to hold them because they bite you. Normal hamsters, you can kind of get to know them a bit more friendly, but these ones you couldn't. And then I'm pretty certain that when one dies, it eats the other one because it don't want to be on its own. It's something like that.
Wow. That's extreme.
I've probably just made that up. My kids want dogs. They want a dog, but my concern is that it will be me looking after this dog. It will be me that has to do everything. Lexi was here the other week when we had the fish. The fish died recently, but when we had the fish, she came into the kitchen where they are, and she said, "Oh, I forgot we actually had fish." So my concern is if we've got a dog, it's just it'll be brilliant for 3 weeks and then it'll be forgotten about. So
when he's laid next to his dog food bowl and she goes, "Oh, I forgot you had a dog."
Yeah. What's that smell? So I am toying with the idea. I do like the idea of having a dog, but I just don't think I can commit to a dog. I struggle committing to 4 series on Netflix. So I'm going to really struggle to. I've named them. I've named it. I know if I got a dog, I know exactly what I'm going to call it.
What's that then, Chair?
Dog.
Oh, okay. Nice and simple. Dog. Come here, dog.
Yeah, so I don't think I semi like the idea of a cat, but
you don't strike me as a cat person at all.
They scratch everything, don't they? But you can just kind of put them out, can't you? You can just put them out if they're messing about.
I don't know if that's the ethos on that. They're quite antisocial out in aspects, but I don't think you can just kick them out of the door for a day.
But you say they're antisocial, but they're always loving, aren't they? I've had cats when I was a kid, and they always want to be stroked and sit with you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think my worry here now is if anybody ever sees me out and sees me with a pet, they're going to call it RSPCA now.
Yeah, you can't have all bigger than your fish.
Yeah, we'll stick to fish. So yours, I know your brief pet history. So tell us a bit about you and pets.
So I pretty much grew up like near enough on a farm. We had all sorts of animals growing up as a kid. So I've been around them all my life, cats, dogs, etc., loads of different things. And then for some reason, as I got to like 16, I just became allergic to anything that's got fur. Like, used to ride horses, got allergic to horses, cats, dogs. So as soon as I left home at 16, go back to my mum's where like cats and dogs and everything are. I can't sit in her house for like more than 2 minutes. But she's never got rid of those pets. But yeah, mine the same as yours. They want a dog, like desperately. It's a hot topic constantly, wanting a dog. And I'd like you, I'd like the thought of a dog, to go running with it. I just can't do it. My eyes would fall out of my head. It just won't be worth it. Even no matter how many tablets I took, antihistamines, it won't be worth it.
You might become immune. If you got a dog, you might go past it. You know, like apparently if you're seasick and you spend enough time on a boat, you kind of beat it. That could be you with a dog.
But it could be a year down the line and my nose just dribbling every 2 seconds. My eyes are streaming. I don't want the hassle. So, like I say, we currently have a fish, which we was kindly given by yourself 2 years ago.
I'll tell this story.
Best present ever.
So it was Ava's birthday present, and I thought, as the doting godparent, you've got to get a child something that they really want. And I remember I'd wrapped it up. Fish was in this tank and everything on it, and I wrapped it up, brought it in.
Yeah.
And I could tell as soon as you weren't happy with it.
No, because we've had fish prior to that, and we for the life of us, we just cannot. For some reason, this fish is like a magical fish, and it stayed alive for must be 3 years this year. Previous to that, I couldn't keep a fish alive more than 10 weeks. It was ridiculous. We had one fish, and it jumped out of its tank. So I came up from work, and it was laid on the side. It somehow jumped out of its tank like Free Willy style, up and down over the top. So when I saw it, I was like, oh. And then it's a case of like cleaning them out and stuff. People think, oh, a fish, they're good to go. They're not. They're just, oh man, so much upkeep. And cleaning stones, that's the bane of my life. So hard cleaning stones.
It's the simplest thing ever, cleaning the fish out. The good thing about that was when we was at Ava's birthday, was that the fish was on the table and everybody that came up was like, oh, she's got fish. Who's bought her that?
Yeah. Like, which person out of their mind had bought a fish?
It was
to the point where I was checking the table every 2 minutes to see if it get anywhere near edge. And go, oh, what a shame.
You know full well if all happens to that fish, he's going to want another.
I know she is.
It's a birthday.
It's your fault.
Well,
Noah's next. Don't bother.
He will. So he's not allowed a fish, but we could potentially look at something else. What about like a stick insect? They don't take a lot of
You can't have fur. I'm going to say, you can't have fur. That's the only thing I say. You can't have fur or hair.
The other thing about the dog is I've seen how expensive they are. They are so expensive just to buy outright. And then obviously you've got to insure them. Apparently you've got to feed them, chip them, all that medical stuff. So you get the dog, and then when your eyeballs fall out your head because you can't cope with it, I'll buy it off you.
What a cheap rate. Yeah, I mean, you can get hypoanogenic, not bionic. Like, so you're not allergic to it. There's loads of dogs out there on the market like that. We've looked at them, but like they're like treble in price, do you know, because they're so specialist and so like bred. So, but I don't know. I might revisit when they're a bit older, because like you say, it'll end up being me. It'll be me walking in the rain, the snow. It'll be me first thing, last thing at night. It won't be Amy or kids. They'll do it for our week, and then it'll be my job. So for me, it's too much of a commitment. Too much of a big commitment.
I suppose at the moment as well, they're not big enough to just go walk it themselves, are they? They're not old enough to kind of just walk around block with it. That's the other thing.
No. And then obviously to be a responsible owner as well, you've got to pick up after it and stuff like that. And I'm not at that stage where I want to be picking dog poo up, if I'm honest.
From a parenting point of view, then, how have you approached this? That you said that they really want it. How have you kind of sort of dulled it down to explain to them we ain't getting one?
So that they know I'm allergic, but they don't know they can get dogs that I won't be allergic to. So I've played it nicely. Obviously, when I get to an age where they get that, we can reapproach it. But as it stands at the moment, they don't think you can get a dog that I'm not allergic to. So that's how we've approached it. Daddy can't have a dog. To be fair, probably if I left home, it'd be like, right, we're getting a dog then. Dad's gone, let's get a dog.
Would they look at exchanging you for a dog?
Probably if it was pushed.
What about one of them cats that's got no fur?
People might hate it. I'm just not a cat fan, if that makes sense. I never have been, like I say. Just not my cup of tea. I'd rather have a dog. I used to love my dog when I was a kid called Patch. Like getting photos of me out as a kid, and I've got a dog by my side. And then, like I say, just randomly became allergic.
Are you allergic, or are you just using that as an excuse?
No, genuinely. Like I go to my mum's and I'm there for like 10 minutes, and like cats are like crawling all over. Like it's like they know as well. They'll be outside. I'll come in, they'll come in the house and come near me and stuff, and start walking around, chair around me. It's like, come on, give me a break.
Gonna smell your fear.
Yeah, probably.
Are you into like weird pets and stuff?
But we actually have another weird pet. We've got a tortoise. So that came about obviously because I couldn't have, and I wanted to make sure they had a pet, that they could interact with. It's not the most interactive pet. Don't really do much in that aspect, but kids love feeding it. She's called Matilda, and if you give her a weed, she'll come to you and eat the weed off your hand and things like that. But
hang on, what are you feeding your tortoise?
I've always wondered why she's always spaced out and walks really slow.
Yeah, there's something that you're not really supposed to do that. Or sort of weeds from the garden.
Yeah, she loves dandelions.
Pets are obviously good, aren't they? Because they obviously teach responsibility, nurturing, caring, things like that. So how have you found that with Matilda? I mean, I don't know a lot about
Tortoise.
But they sleep, don't they? Because I was going to come round and get it out of the fridge one day, I think, wasn't I? You won't let me in your house.
Yeah, so when you say fridge, it's not in the main fridge next to cabbage and tomatoes. I have a special fridge for which comes to hibernate. There's more to it than you think. There's like a bit more when it comes to hibernation stuff like that. You can just put them like in a shed, but obviously because we're quite warm wintered, they've got a chance of waking up, and as soon as they wake up, if anything over 7 degrees, they start to eat their body fat stores. So it's best to keep them between 3 degrees and 7 degrees. So I've got a special fridge that she sleeps in from October through to like March, beginning of April. It's getting responsibility and like a bit of a life skill. Obviously, every morning she has to be put outside because obviously on a night you've got predators and foxes and stuff, so that you don't want anything to get her or anything like that. So we bring her on a night. So they do that. Obviously, they'll prepare the food for the day for her and scatter around garden. And the other big thing to responsible is being responsible about picking her poo up because she poos. Like every animal will poo. They get involved in that aspect of cleaning up after, and obviously which comes with all pets really. Once you've done those aspects and you make sure she's fed and she's got enough sunlight and stuff like that, then she looks after herself really. She's a bit of a wildish animal.
It's a bit cool, isn't it, to have?
Yeah, cool, yeah. But like the novel can wear off quite quickly because she doesn't do nothing. It does like they love her, don't get me wrong. They'll like look after her and stuff like that and move her and make sure she's in the sun and stuff like that. I don't know, other people, the novelty wears off quite quick. Do you know what I mean? They'll go, oh, you got a tortoise, oh, that's brilliant. And then an hour later, then obviously it's not like a dog where it'll do tricks and roll over and stuff like that. The trick she does, it dissipates into a shell. To be fair, a sign of a good healthy tortoise is to lay on its back, and then if you can get back onto its belly by itself so it can right itself back over, it's a sign of good health.
Wow. Hey, this is educational, this, isn't it?
Tortoise tails.
Tortoise tails. Is it expensive? Does it cost you a lot to keep? You just feed it weeds and buy it in a fridge?
Yeah, no. Maintenance wise, she's pretty cheap, and like regarding vets and stuff to do with her, if she gets sick, she'll get sick. You can't really do an internal examination on a tortoise because they get a big shell in the way. I took her to the vet before. She was making a funny squeaking noise. I was like, that's a bit weird. So I took her to the vet, and the vet said she was really healthy and that, but obviously barring internal examinations, not you can really do, and she stopped squeaking. So I don't know what it was.
Final bit of info on this, because this is definitely something I would do, and if you haven't, this is definitely something you should try as well. Have you ever put your tortoise in your basket of your bike, put like a cloak over its head and pretend it's eating?
No, yeah, I thought you was going to say put a bit of fabric around its eyes and a belt and put some swords on its back.
Ninja tortoise.
That's where I thought you was going.
Oh, maybe that's maybe even better. Right. My topic this week is after school clubs and extracurricular activities. So the things that our kids do after school. What was your time taken up by from the age of 5 to 15? Let's see if we've got enough time to do this.
I'm going to say, I don't think we're going to have enough time to go through everything I did. I did everything, honestly. I think I've mentioned it before. My mum used clubs and after school things as good, cheap childcare. She could send me swim for a couple of hours with swim club. I'd go to scouts, cubs, obviously a couple of quid. I played football, badminton club, judo, snorkeling, you name it, I'll have done it at some point.
You did, didn't you? You literally did everything.
Yeah, like pretty much every night of the week and all weekend. I played football all weekend, trained on Saturday mornings. I went scuba diving on Saturday afternoon. I used to do go rollerblading. I even used to go on train to Donny, ice skating. And I used to go to the ice rink to the point where, like I say, anything that I could be doing. And my mum saw it was like, it kept me out of trouble. Which in reflection is very wise. I wasn't on a lot of my friends on the streets, not antisocial or calling antisocial behaviour like that. But there would be just hanging around the streets and stuff like that, where I was just constantly going from club to club, here, there, and everywhere. I did go out with my friends and stuff as I got a bit older and stuff like that. But I still love my commitments to my club.
What was the most random club you did as a kid?
Probably archery. Archery was the most random, right? On a Saturday morning, I'd go to archery, especially in summer when football went on. So obviously we trained, football, swimming was my main hobbies, which I wouldn't sacrifice anything going then. But obviously in summer when football season had finished, I'd go to do pretty much archery every Saturday morning.
So when I was a kid, I did Beavers Cubs. That was it. And I did football. And I don't ever remember doing what else. I don't even remember doing swimming lessons. I never remember learning to swim when I went with school. Apart from that, we used to go swimming every Saturday, but that was as a family. That wasn't like a club. It was just football. That's all it was.
I never remember doing much as a family. I always remember me going to clubs or doing things with friends. If we did things as a family, don't get me wrong. But you said every Saturday you went swimming with the family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My swimming was going to the club, or my friend said, "Oh, do you want to go swimming on the rare Saturday afternoon I'd done my hand?" Whereas, like I said, those sort of things didn't happen, and that was the sacrifice mum and dad made regarding running a business.
Plus, they'd already gone through that lovable stage, hadn't they, with Becky and Dan, and then you came along.
I'm going to say, I think a lot of it does come back to that, the fact that they've already been there once. Went, I've got to do this again. I need to find someone to look after this child. Jesus.
So, what clubs do Ava and Noah do?
So I've managed to instill the very same practices, the fact that, but it's only for the love that I used to do it and the reward I got out of it that I've wanted them to do the same thing. Not as in like a childcare thing. It's more of I used to love doing sport to the point. So they do dancing, both of them do dancing. Noah does street dancing, Ava does ballet and rock and roll. They both swim. He has swimming lessons. She swims at the swim club. They both play football. I'm trying to think, because obviously since we've been locked down, I think all clubs have stopped. I'm trying to think what we'll do.
Is there anything you'd like them to do?
I wouldn't mind Ava doing a bit of gymnastics, but as we start adding more things in, the same problem I used to have when I was younger was you can't be everywhere. And there's got to be a tipping point on cost. I mean, I don't know what it was like for my mum getting to these clubs, because it can't have been cheap even that in those days. But like I say, for me, I mean, I would do football as well on Saturday morning. So, for us, we must shell out 300 quid a month, on clubs.
It's a do, isn't it? And like I say, especially when
and then also equipment as well, buying football boots and stuff like that, and ballet. I mean, ballet dance is so expensive, costumes and stuff like that. And when you do shows, I mean, you'll know all yours have been through dancing, haven't they?
I think dancing is expensive, but I do think it's a great discipline.
I agree.
You've got teamwork element there. You've got discipline with regards to how you treat yourself, how you treat your body, and I think it's great. And I really think it's great for boys. And that's not being a sexist thing. I just think, gymnastics is the same. I find gymnastics such a brilliant athletic discipline. And when you watch out the Olympics, it just looks so easy, but it's not. And I think when I was a kid. And at the time, I probably wouldn't have done because it wasn't cool with your mates. But I just think, oh man, I would have loved to have done a bit of gymnastics as a kid. And for strength and posture and all them other things that come with it as a byproduct, making new friends, learning to integrate with kids that aren't at your school, different age groups. going away on trips and stuff like that. I just think that type of thing, I would have loved to have done that. And I say that now because it's very easy. I just think, I think they're really good. They're cool clubs to do. And gymnastics isn't expensive either.
No, I mean, going back to what you said, is anything you wish I'd have done? Dancing, genuinely. When I see Noah dancing, I'm so envious because I have got 2 left feet. Like I've got, like, when it comes to dancing and stuff like that, I just cannot get the rhythm going. Yeah, when it comes to swimming, I've got a great rhythm. When it comes to like movement of like football or anything like that, I'm quite athletic and agility is there. When it comes to dancing, for some reason, I don't know if it's confidence that I feel uncomfortable doing it. Well, that's one thing I wish my mum would push me to do. But like you, I don't think it lasted long. Because things like clubs and stuff didn't last long because it wasn't cool. So I was quicker to go, okay, I'll substitute clubs for playing football with my friends on a Monday night, or I'll go snorkeling, or I'll go do something. Do you know, something, a badminton club came about. So, okay, on a Monday night, instead of going to clubs, I went to badminton club because badminton club was a bit more cooler, a bit more easier to get by. When you go to school and your friends go, what have you been doing? I would be in clubs and stuff. Whereas, like, as well, now I think those clubs have sort of come back as well. Like, do you know, when you see participation in clubs and stuff like that, it seems to have gone higher than ever was when I was there.
You say that, and there is a I suppose an interpretation that it's not cool, but actually, clubs is proper cool. You know, the stuff you go light fires, you camp out.
No, in reflection, I'm like, I loved it. Like you say, camping, lighting fires, playing in woods, hunting, you know, as in like scavenging. What's it called when you like have like orienteering?
Orienteering,
you know, those life skills of navigating where you're going with a compass. That's a proper decent life skill. Yet for some reason, if you get more people into it, because that's all it was, because not many people did it, then it wasn't warranted as cool. Whereas if everyone was doing it, then it'd be like, yeah, this is good. Do you know what I mean? Because it's proper lad stuff. It's proper like mucking knees, having a laugh.
Yeah, I do think we live in a different time now where things are a bit more acceptable in a really loose term, like boys dancing, girls playing football. Like I say, I played football and I went to Beavers and Cubs. That's all I did as a kid. I don't feel like I ever had major access to other stuff. You either played football or you played rugby, really, or you played cricket.
Yeah.
It was one or other. You didn't generally do all three. But like you say, because obviously I'm a little bit older than you, actually I don't really remember. Swim club, I was never really into it. Kids now at 14, you were going to gym. It was never something I thought about. It was probably a little bit out of my comfort zone, but the activities are much more accessible now than they were when we were kids.
I suppose that's a lot to do with government incentives and stuff like that. Because it's not as safe to be just out on the street, those sort of access of clubs have to be there.
Yeah, which is great. It's great. And like I say, they do teach kids so much aside from the skill they're actually learning. I like the fact of making friends from other schools. I think that's a great thing because as you grow up, and it's good to have like different circles of friends, different groups of friends. And obviously, like if you go to a different high school than all your friends have gone to, you would generally hope there's somebody there that you can kind of meet with, or college or something like that. One thing I do want to just discuss on this is there anything regards after school clubs that you may potentially have to get involved in?
I mean, I've told you that a few times. I mean, both mine go to like a football skills school it is. So they're not playing competitive football. And I think it's so much better because there's no pressure of getting picked for the team. There's no pressure of, like, they play matches and stuff like that. But all them things that I used to hate with the side of football and, like, you know, trying to make sure you get into the team for Sunday or if you're on the bench or anything like that, just the disheartenance, that's all gone at this moment in time. I mean, at some point they will want to filter into a team. But while they're so young, I'm glad that's not there. And then because there don't seem to be many people getting involved, like when I was younger, it used to be everyone's dad and stuff like that. It was always coaches, and I can remember I went through about 4 or 5 different coaches. And it was like one dad would give up, and then the next person would just straight into bat. Whereas I don't think those networks are there anymore. You don't really seem like people don't want to give up the time. I would, so I think it'll probably be a football club that I'll end up getting involved in and running a football team, which I know you've done in the past, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, I've helped out. I mean, what my kids playing, which was probably a better thing, I think, because I had no ulterior motive than to help them kids try and progress. It was a friend of mine that was running it. And when it was going good, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. it would have been nicer, I suppose, to start that at a younger age and give them disciplines. I still talk to my football coach now, and I look back on them times and I think that was a really good mentorship for me. Again, your teamwork, your discipline, turning up every week, being there for your mates. When we used to go to football tournaments, I mean, they were some of the best days ever. And you kind of take them kind of things for granted, I think. So on that, one thing I do want to touch on is the touchline parent, Mrs. Serious Mum or Mr. Serious Dad or dance mums. Are these good? Is the heart in the right place, or is it just absolutely crackers parents scaring the life out of people? What experiences have you had with parents, them type of parents?
Yeah, so to be fair, luckily enough, I mean, my mum, when she got going, she's like gets excited, and I think her excitement was that she never did many sports as a kid. It was the excitement of like, so she would probably be one of those parents that are living it through the child. If like seeing me excel or me be very good at something, she loved it. So like I can remember when I used to like play football and stuff, and I was all right, I mean. And it was like she'd be like, "Oh, go on, Leon, go on, Leon, go on." But I'm like nowhere near a goal or anything like that. I've just got the ball at my feet. I think that aspect's very good because that's encouragement. And obviously, my mum never played football, didn't understand the rules of football. So as soon as she saw me get the ball at my feet, it was like, "He's got the ball! Oh, he's got the ball! He's got the ball!" Probably no idea what I'm supposed to be doing with the ball, but the excitement was there. So for me, that's a good aspect. And I know what he's talking about, and obviously you get very argumentative and angry parents, things like that. And it will be just a stem of frustration of either they could do it better when they was younger and they don't understand that concept of the frustration of, well, why can't he do it? Which is sometimes, I think people find it hard to coach kids because they aren't going to do it. They aren't going to understand it. You tell them to go left with the ball and they've got themselves confused and running right. So I think a lot of it comes back to frustration. And the heart's in the right place in the fact that they just want them to do good. But a lot of people have just got to understand the kids. Just let them play. And I don't think I'll be one of these people that are like pressuring or going over the top. Even if there was absolutely, I mean, I'm saying it now, that could be completely different when it comes to it. But I'm a firm believer, if they want to do it, they have to learn to put that dedication in. When I was younger, I got to a standard where I was swimming like county for swimming. And a lot of that was, if I'd have said to my mum, okay, I don't want to go this many times a week, I probably wouldn't have gone that many times a week. Whereas I actually had that desire to get to the next level, to get better. And I think I'll try and instill that to my kids. What you put in is what you get out at the end of the day. Not in a pressure situation, but if this is something you really want to do, you actually want to excel at this, even you've got all the natural ability, there's still got to be an element of dedication, and whether it be looking at your diet or whether it be looking at how your mindset is to it. You can't just turn up and off you go, because there's always someone who's going to be better. So if you want to be the best, you've got to obviously put the effort in to get that back. And I think I'll try and instill that into them. Got a bit off track there, but yeah, like I say, I think a lot of it comes back to frustration from a parent. The heart is in the right place because it's want their child to do well.
It's got to be something they enjoy doing as well, hasn't it? That they make the decision. I'm right into the commitment of doing something. You joined all them clubs as a kid, and at what point was the emphasis on you to go, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore? Because you'd had to try it. I think there's got to be a kind of case of you go, and you've got to see this out a bit and see where you go with it. You can't just go, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. And there'll come a time, and same with my kids, where things have got to give because they're at a certain age, and just naturally other things take over. But yeah, it's got to be something that they enjoy doing.
I mean, what about yourself? Have you come across parents in those aspects? What's your opinion? Do you think it's heart in the right place, or do you think it's just...
Yeah, I think from my experience, mine comes through dancing. So all three of my girls have danced. I can put up with the really enthusiastic parents and stuff like that, and don't get me wrong. And I think as well, certainly within dancing, there's a social element for the parents as well. They've got to commit to it because they've got to make sure that they're up at, like you said, dancing's such a commitment. There's 4 classes during the week. There's a Saturday. You're then up at stupid o'clock on a Sunday morning to get on a bus or in your car and drive 4 hours somewhere for a competition, that you're there all day in a sweaty sports hall somewhere, to then have to drive back, and then you're back up for Monday morning for work. And so there's a massive commitment to that. And I do think there's an element for parents to use that as a social aspect. They become those dance mums. And I can understand the enthusiasm that they'll give. And like you say, chances are they've been dancers previously and they want their kids to do as well as maybe they've done. What I can't bear, and I've seen this in football and I've seen it in dancing, is that, oh, that kid's rubbish. It's not my kid. He shouldn't be in this team. He's a little fat kid. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough. He cries all the time. I say he. I'm thinking, it's same for girls as well. They're not as good. And that's the element that I don't like. I can't bear that pulling somebody else down kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I'm more into, just treat it as a positive. Every kid's going to play. Every kid's going to have their dance. Just let them get on with it. Natural talent will shine through ultimately. And if they are really good at something, they excel at something, they will push on with that commitment and dedication that you said. That's all kids need. Just need a bit of encouragement.
Yeah, because like mine go to football skills school. They just love playing football. Do you know what I mean? And all the kids that go, there's an absolute love it. And there was a couple of parents that was like in Ava's age that took them off to play in like teams and stuff. And I was like, it's not that they're too young, don't get me wrong, because there's got to be that element come at some point. But you're always going to need subs. You're always going to need fringe players. Whereas at this moment in time, I just want them to have fun playing football. And they don't need that pressure of, am I picked for Saturday or Sunday, or the tears of, I haven't been picked. Until they get to 10, 11, 12, and then football becomes a bit more of a developed sport, just let them have fun and play the skills. And I think that's got to be the same with dancing. The amount of times that there's like the pressure to do the competitions and stuff, whereas mine just want to dance. Do you know what I mean? We do the big show, but then there's always like the pressure of doing the competition. Mine don't really, they do it because they enjoy it, not for the accolations that come with it. And obviously as they get older, like you said, they're excelling or they're really like loving it and they want to go do a dance competition, then by all means they can go do a dance competition. I wouldn't say no. There's too much pressure to excel or succeed that they don't need at their age. When you're 14, 13, 12, 10, around that age, you're a bit more mature and you understand that there's got to be a pecking order. Whereas even Ava at 8, she at 7, nearly 8, she doesn't understand if she doesn't win or the competitive side of things, the world's ending. Whereas actually, forget about that. You're having fun, aren't you? You're enjoying what you're doing. I don't know the right or wrong answer on that. From my opinion, is just keep it simple and just let them have fun. The kids.
What that kind of leads me on to is what was a bit talked about last week, and we've so I've sort of spent this week and a bit of the week before of trying to find out really what advice parents can give to other parents, and it's something sort of we've both been doing. So I've had quite a busy week on this week and asking people. I'm going to give you the top 5. All right, you ready for this? There was a couple that didn't make the top 5. I'll give you those first. So they were, what advice would they give to another person on parenting? What would it be? What good bit of advice? Don't have kids and the oven's hot. And I even got, don't take advice from others, which I actually thought was not a bad bit of advice. So the top 5, and so in at number 5, do what's right for you. There's so much pressure on, following this rule book of what we should all do. Or actually, just do what's right for you. Patience is the key. And this is, again, I thought this was a good one. Not good enough to make number 3, but it's number 4 anyway. So patience based on, we all get frustrated with stuff. It's just a case of, I suppose, a bit of understanding, which leads perfectly into number 3. Take a step back, count to 10 and smile. Just remember that we were all kids once. Great bit of advice. And I like the smile bit. Just, you know what I mean? If parents smile, kids smile. If grandparents smile, kids smile. I just think it's maybe something we don't do enough. So that's number 3. In swiftly at number 2, this was another good one, obviously, because it made number 2. Make a fuss of kids' treasures. If it's a picture or a feather or just a plastic rubbish toy ring, it might just be the most amazing thing to them. Treat it like that. We'll always see things as clutter, but they think it's the most magical thing in the world, and you want rid of it. Throw it away when they get to bed. So I like that one. Then in at number 1, which I thought, my opinion, the best sort of tip, and this comes a little bit on what we're saying. So number 1, to tell the kids they don't have to be perfect. It don't matter if they make a mistake. That's how they learn. I don't think it's just necessarily a tip. I think it's a great homage for how you bring your kids up. It's a great little ethic to have, to say, actually, yeah, this is how we learn. This is how society learns. You know, things go wrong, so we learn from it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's just the fact, remember, the kids, they don't know everything. They will have lapse in judgment of getting things wrong. And it's a case of going, okay, let's learn as we go forwards. And like you say, smiling's the best thing ever. Because it's too easy to tell them off. Because sometimes you just don't understand. It's not that they've done something wrong, but it's frustrating to you. And you think, why have they done that? In this case, I'm just going, like you say, count to 10, smile and go. The kids, they're going to do things like that. It's not getting et up, and like I say, it's just letting them build and learn from where they've been. I think they're all quality there. I think they're brilliant advice.
So we'll just wrap it up. So quickly, what you got planned this week?
This week it'll be a bit of Groundhog Day again. Work, eat, sleep, school, the kids. And then I'll be gearing ourselves ready up for a weekend, because obviously it's Father's Day at weekend. I'll be looking forward to that day off, because when it's Mother's Day, Amy gets a day off.
So I've got my kids this weekend. So what I'm planning on Sundays, because obviously we're still in this terrible position of not being able to go out anywhere. We can't go out and have something to eat. So my plan for Sunday is to, you know how I like to get them round for Sunday dinner. We sit round the table, it's something we do. They're going to cook me dinner. So obviously with a bit of guidance, but I'm going to get them.
I'd love if you're just like, right, there's a turkey, there's the spuds, there's the carrot. I'll see you in 4 hours. I'm off for a walk.
Well, I'm going to let them pick what they're going to cook. So it's something that they can, and like I say, I'll help them with it. So they've got to do that. They'll have to look at ingredients and stuff. I'm just going to see how it goes. I might end up with a sandwich, but whatever I'm eating, they're eating. I might end up with turkey dinosaurs.
But mate, I'm stealing that. I am absolutely stealing that. The thing is, you say you might end up with a sandwich. My kids love sandwiches. I probably will end up with a sandwich at this rate, but I'm stealing that. I'm stealing it.
Do it, and we'll be back next week to have a bit of a chat about it. Just before we sign off, we've got to put out a big shout out for our logo that was done from Luke at Clay 10 Creative. I think he's done a fantastic job. Check them out, because they've got some really, really cool stuff that they do. Some VR, some AR. They're fantastic. The stuff that they produce is just brilliant. So check them out. They're based in Hull. To Molly and Damon, who have done our jingle for us, which I think sounds awesome. And I know you do as well.
I agree. It's absolutely amazing.
So that's good. So massive thank you to those for using their skills, which we certainly don't have, to be able to do that for us. Where can people catch us, Leon? You can catch us on Instagram. So we've got our handle is dad_tales_. That's our Instagram. We've got an email address, which is dadtales@outlook.com. So if you want to drop us any emails, if you've got any advice you want to give us, send them our way. Any funny stories as well that you've had over the years, anything that you want to share with us, we're happy to have that and obviously incorporate that into our weekly chats. And obviously don't forget to like, rate and subscribe. Give us that big thumbs up, and make sure you leave us some comments, because obviously comments are important, that people know what the content's like and things like that. So it does help to leave comments. Share it with your friends. Yeah. If you like it, share it. Yeah. Nice one. Good chat, mate. We'll do it all again. As always. Right. See you next week. Nice one. Take care, mate.
My name is Lexi and I'm 15. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dad Tales. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at dad_tales_ and email us your stories at dadtales@outlook.com.